What's up, Yokai Watchers? Today we're going to be ranking all the Yokai Watch games, at least the ones on this tier list, and we're going to be ranking it two different ways. The first is what I think is like the objective consensus of the games of like the series. The second is going to be my personal enjoyment of the games.
But before we get started, thank you to Rina Inari and AlexPac for all the support on Patreon.
I think that'll make it a little bit fun and different. And give you how I think both ways. So we're gonna start off with Yokai Watch 1. Yokai Watch 1 is a pretty good game. I think I'm gonna have to give it A tier here because I think a lot of people enjoy Yokai Watch 1, but it's not necessarily perfect, and I think most people are gonna agree the Switch version is better because it has infinite stamina, right? That makes sense. And I guess the mobile version would probably go around here because it's a mobile port. It's not as good instantly, basically. And that's going to bring us into Yokai Watch 2. Most people love Yokai Watch 2. They love Psychic Specters, but I don't think most people are going to say it's a perfect game. But most people say it's the best Yokai Watch game in the series. So we're going to put it up there, especially that version. But the other two, they're going to go in the into high A tier because they don't have all the stuff from the definitive edition. Which honestly, we're not even going to include those on this tier list. We don't need to think about that. Next up, Yokai Watch 3. Um, I think most people are gonna say Yokai Watch 3 is good, but not as good as the first. A lot of people seem very mixed on this game, so it's probably gonna go right there. And a lot of people love blasters. A lot of people love doing the multiplayer of that game, and overall, a lot of people just enjoy it. And Yokai Watch 4, I feel like that one would go in C tier. I feel like a lot of it's another one of those very mixed games and stuff like that. So, but it has a lot of good elements to it. And that's going to bring us to Busters 2, which, Busters 2 is, it is how it is. A lot of people say it's one of the worst Yokai Watch games ever, so it's definitely it's an F tier. It has a lot of bugs in it and stuff like that. Um, honestly, let's see. Waigaku, Waigakuen, a lot of people don't like this game either. Honestly, a lot of people just haven't given it a chance. I think it's an alright game, but we can get in my opinions more later on. Sengokushi, I think a lot of people are probably going to give it about the same ranking. And honestly, I don't think like almost nobody's played this game, so I honestly think it would go in that ranking for most people.
But before we continue the video, I just wanted to let you know that my Patreon is currently 50% off for both tiers. That means you get to support me and get videos early cheaper. And sometimes, depending on your tier, you will get like bloopers and behind the scenes stuff. So I recommend checking that out.
Okay, so now we're in my personal enjoyment of the games. Of course, we're gonna start off with Yokai Watch 1. I really enjoy Yokai Watch 1. It's one of my favorite Yokai Watch games. It has its problems, but I really enjoy the pacing and stuff. And I'm not the biggest fan of the story, so I'm gonna give it A tier. And the Switch version, I love even more because of the stamina changes they did to it, and honestly, they made it so you can get Pantanoko easier. So S tier game for me. Now time for Yokai Watch 2. I'm really not a big fan of Yokai Watch 2. Yokai Watch 2, in terms of my enjoyment, is like honestly, it's probably down here. I am not the biggest Yokai Watch 2 fan. I don't like the pacing. I bet I'd like the game if I gave it a try, but if I gave it another try, but I don't remember having fond memories of 2. It's probably one of my least favorite games in the series. So that moves us on to 3. I think 3's fine, but I think it has its problems, so I'm gonna have to give it a C tier. And that brings us to Yokai Watch 4. Yokai Watch 4 is one of my favorite video games of all times. I know it has flaws, but I just love it for what it is. I'd love to get a video deep diving into it one day. I Yokai Watch 1, that version, I've never played it, so I can't really comment on it. This game, not really my cup of tea. It's not really for me. Um, Honestly, I need to redo my rankings. That's better. This game is it's a spin-off game, and I'm not really a big fan of the gameplay. And this game, I think it'll go there. Bicycle Heroes, just a nice amount. It's fun game. I've been playing through it on the channel. I'm having fun, but I just can't compete with the others, in my opinion. And I forgot about the Blasters games. Honestly, for me, they're probably more of a B tier for the first one. I don't actually. It's probably more of like a C tier. You need to. I feel like the enjoyment of that game really comes from multiplayer. I never really had anyone to play with, so this is when my hot take happens. And Yokai Watch Busters 2 honestly gets an A rank in my enjoyment because I had so much fun in 2019. Sorry, not 2019, but I think it was 2020, 2021. We're all stuck in our houses, and I had a lot of fun playing that game solo. And I believe, unlike the first game, you can really just have a lot of fun alone despite all the bugs. It can get repetitive though, which is why I haven't played it much these days. Base Yokai Watch 4 is honestly probably that on my enjoyment. It has a lot more flaws, so which is why it's much lower. And I've never played the Just Dance game. I know, fake fan, totally. I've never played that game. That game shut down. I never got to play Metal Wars Land. Actually, I have to rephrase it. This is an E. That's an F. That's just a lame little crappy spinoff. And this one, I played it a little bit. Wasn't a fan. Pony. Okay, so Pony is like an F, and Wibble Wobble is like a B. And this game was an F. I didn't have fun with it. So I think this is my personal enjoyment of the Yokai Watch games. Until next time, keep on Yokai watching.